Welcome to ABC Interactive English. Hello everyone, I'm Karen.
And I am Mike. And here we are back with part 2, the middle part of our 3-day epic Bible story, Moses Parts the Red Sea. Truly one of the most famous stories from the Bible.
Yes, of
right?
course.
We've done Noah and his ark. We've done a few others. This is definitely
one of the most famous.
One of the most well-known. They've had a lot of movies made about this or about this story. And it's definitely... We should also explain the title because we didn't actually mention what parting the Red Sea really is. When you part something, you like divide it in half, right? You kind of cut it in half and push it to the side. A lot of people, when they comb their hair, they might part their hair. On one side it goes this way, on one side it goes that way. Or if there's a very famous person there and a crowd of people taking pictures, you know, trying to get their attention, that person or their security guards might sort of push people. Okay, get out of the way. You go over there, you go over there. So the celebrity, the movie star, whoever it is, can walk through the middle. Now imagine going down to Elan and saying, I want to go to Hawaii and I want to walk. And then you just use the power of God or whatever to make the ocean split in half. There's a nice dry area and you can just walk your way to Hawaii. You don't need a boat or a plane or anything. That's a pretty amazing skill. I don't think Spider-Man could do that.
I know, but that sounds really, really impossible, though. Parting the Red Sea.
Exactly. It's unbelievable, but that's why it's such a cool story.
That's right.
And it makes for a cool scene in all the movies, too.
I guess God is very powerful.
If you're curious, you could find one of those. And I wish I could part the sea and I could walk home, but no, I can't. All right, so let's get to our article and find out what's going to happen. Moses and his people are trapped. The ocean is here. The bad guys are there. What's he gonna do?
Moses told the Israelites to stay calm. Then God told Moses to raise his staff over the Red Sea. All of a sudden, a strong wind blew and parted the sea. The Israelites were surprised.
We're looking at part 2 of Moses Parts the Red Sea. So last time we know that they were trapped, right?
Yes.
Moses and the Israelites, and then behind them were the king of Egypt and the army, and in front of them was the Red Sea.
Yes, exactly.
So what are they going to do right now?
Well, I mean, if you look at it, they're either going to have to jump in the Red Sea and start swimming for freedom or stay there and fight and maybe die or maybe get caught.
But they're not all soldiers.
Exactly, and they have little kids and they have old people and all their stuff, and this is not an army, this is just a bunch of normal people. So you can imagine how scared and frightened the Israelites, the people with Moses, are starting to get. They feel trapped because they are. But Moses, he was in charge, he was on top of it, he was in command. Moses told the Israelites to stay calm. Don't panic, don't get too scared, don't lose your minds. I got this, I have a plan.
Well, I guess Moses is a good leader, right?
I guess so. I mean, I would probably follow him into a desert, but I don't know, maybe not.
Because I would probably panic. Okay, let's continue. So he told the Israelites to stay calm, don't panic. Then God told Moses to raise his staff over the Red Sea. Okay, so raise his staff over the Red Sea is something that he's holding in his hand, right? And then, so what is he gonna do? To raise something though, let me explain. To raise something means to lift something up or to take care, for example, of a child. You can say raising a child. But right here, we're talking about lifting something up. So for example, you can say, please raise your hand if you have a question. Okay, that means to lift up your hand. But as raising a child, you can say, my mom raises me. It means that she takes care of me and helps me grow.
Exactly right. And we're going to go over to Tina for a little bit of advice on all our grammar and other things. And then we'll be back to find out what happened after Moses raised his staff.
Hi, I'm Tina. 我们来看一下刚刚课文里提到的单字跟文法重点。首先来看看单字的部分。Raise 动词举起。 Ian raised his hand to answer the question. Ian 举手回答问题。我们再来看一下文法重点。刚刚课文提到了 stay calm， 保持冷静。Calm 是形容词，意思是冷静的、平静的。我们来看看这个例句。When the storm came, Jack stayed calm and helped his family. 暴风雨来时 ，Jack 保持冷静并帮助家人。接着我们回到课文当中。
And we are back. So there's Moses. The Israelites are starting to get very scared. They don't know what to do. The army's here. They seem trapped. Where will they go? God said, "Raise your staff, Moses." And Moses said, "Okay." So he raised his staff. That's like a long walking stick he would walk around with. And then it says, all of a sudden, a strong wind blew and parted the sea. The sea was split in half with wall of water, one huge amount of water over here, another one over here, and a dry area in the middle where everyone could walk safely. This is all through the power of nature or the power of God. We don't know, but we do know that a wind was blowing. And that's what wind does. When wind moves, we often use this term to blow. If it's a windy day, the wind is blowing. If the typhoon is coming even a few days before, you might notice the wind is blowing more. When you push air, either by through your mouth, like when you're trying to blow out your birthday candles, or when the wind is moving around because of pressure and temperature differences. When we have wind moving in any kind of way, this is the best verb to use. The wind will blow or will move from one direction to another. So next we see, before we go to Tina, the Israelites were surprised. So all the people with Moses are thinking, we're in trouble, we're going to get trapped, we're going to have to go back to Egypt with the soldiers. And suddenly the wind comes up and the sea parts. And of course, the people with Moses, the Israelites, they were surprised. We might also say they were shocked. They had no idea Moses could do something so incredible. And maybe they'll be safe. We'll have to find out after we talk with Tina.
我们来看一下刚刚课文里提到的单字 blow 动词吹拂，它的三态是 blow blew blown。 The wind blew the leaves all over the yard。 风把叶子吹得满院子都是。文法的部分刚刚提到了 all of a sudden， 突然间一下子，这是一个副词片语， sudden 指的是突然发生的事。我们来看看这个例句 The lights went out all of a sudden during the party. 派对上灯突然一下子全熄了。接着我们回到课文当中。
And now we are back. So it looks like they're going to be safe, right?
Yeah, maybe.
Because Moses just parted the Red Sea. So now there is a path where they can walk.
Exactly right. And maybe some
amazing.
free fish on the way. So once they walk across, they'll be able to have sushi.
But wait a second, though, because if it's dry and then they can walk over,
Yes.
that means the king of Egypt and the army, they can also walk too.
Yes, I just thought of that. Maybe it's not such a good plan.
I know.
Because if the king and his army are on horses and all these people are just walking, they might still catch them. This might be a problem with Moses' plan. We're going to have to find out what happens after this break when we're going to read it. Then we'll come back to talk about it.
When a dry path appeared, the Israelites started to walk between the two great walls of water. Before long, the king and his army reached the path. So the Israelites hurried to the other side. When they were all safe, God told Moses to raise his staff over the Red Sea again.
All right, we are back with Moses and his parting of the Red Sea, one of the most incredible stories, one of the most incredible miracles or amazing acts by God or by his followers that we have in the Bible. And it seems to be working. There's Moses. God told him to raise his staff, and God with his power split split the water in two. So there was a dry place down the middle where the Israelites with Moses can walk across to freedom and hopefully get away from the king of Egypt and his army who want to trap them and take them back to Egypt. So I think they're on their way to freedom, right?
That's right. And
Yes.
then they were very surprised when they saw Moses parting the Red Sea.
That doesn't normally happen.
It does not. It never happens. Okay, let's find out what happens next. When a dry path appeared, the Israelites started to walk between the two great walls of water. That's right. That's something that we never ever see. You never see great walls of water. But like you said, it's a miracle, right?
Yes,
It's something
exactly.
amazing that doesn't usually happen. Okay, but we're talking about the dry path. What does it mean when I say dry? So that's an adjective. Dry just means having no water or moisture. It can describe things that are not wet. For example, like dry clothes or dry hair. It can also describe a place that doesn't get much rain, like a desert. So an example sentence would be, the towels are dry now, so we can put them away.
All right, no water, no moisture. They are not wet. They are nice and dry. And of course, when we walk, we like the ground to be dry. I mean, if it's a little wet because it rained, that's okay. But if the water is under the ocean, then we can't walk on it. So there they are, walking across the bottom of the Red Sea. Now, this seems to be good, but as you said, wait, if they can walk down there, then what about the king from Egypt and the army? Can't they do that? Well, that's kind of what happened. It says before long, so after just a few minutes, when they were still walking across the bottom of the Red Sea, before they got to the other side, before long, the king and his army reached the path. They've almost caught up. They're almost right there, able to catch the Israelites who are not quite safe yet. What's going to happen? We'll find out after we check in with Tina.
我们来看一下刚刚课文里提到的单字 dry 形容词，干的，干燥的。The clothes are dry now, so you can fold them. 衣服现在已经干了，你可以折起来了。Fold 指的是折叠。文法的部分刚刚提到了 before long 不久后，很快的，意思相近于 soon。我们来看看这个例句。Before long, the sun came out and the rain stopped. 不久后，太阳出来了，雨也停了。接着我们回到课文当中。
And now we are back. So now the king of Egypt and the army, they're also at the path. That means all they have to do is just to follow Moses and the Israelites, right? Very simple. They can walk too, and they're soldiers, right? So they can probably walk a little faster.
Yeah, they might even be on horses, so they can move much, much faster.
Oh no. Okay, let's find out what happens now. So the Israelites hurried to the other side. The Israelites, they can see that the army is coming, the king of Egypt is coming, so they had to hurry. So what does it mean to hurry?
Hurry just means to move quickly or to do things quickly. So you're doing what you normally do, you're just doing it much faster. Maybe you're being chased by someone like the Israelites in our story. Maybe you're late if you wake up and you're like, oh no, school starts in 20 minutes and I'm still at home in bed. You're gonna have to hurry. So you're not always running around, but you're doing everything quickly. As you brush your teeth, you're putting on your socks, you don't have time for breakfast, you run out the door, run down to the bus stop, you're hurrying that whole time. Now, why don't they just say the Israelites ran to the other side? Well, because if you think about it, they have babies, they have young children, there are old people. These people can't run, but they can move as fast as possible. And that's what hurry kind of means. Another word we might use is rush. They rushed to the other side. When you rush in the morning, you hurry. And we can also say, I'm in a hurry. That kind of means the same thing. Time is short. I don't want to be late. I have to do things quickly or I have to hurry. So there they are, hurrying to the other side as fast as they can go. I'm sure the young kids are running really, really fast, but grandma and grandpa are back there moving a little more slowly, but they're moving, trying to get to the other side as quickly as possible. And then it says, when they were all safe, phew, God told Moses to raise his staff again, or to raise his staff over the Red Sea again. When they were all safe, God told Moses to raise his staff over the Red Sea again. So I guess that means when they're all safe, they've now reached the other side of the Red Sea. They're back on the land. They don't have that water all around them. They have gotten to safety or to the other side of the Red Sea. Do you think the king and his army are still back there in the middle of the Red Sea?
I'm pretty sure they're still in the middle of the Red Sea, but
Interesting.
I don't know what's going to happen now.
Me neither, and neither does Tina, but she knows a lot more about grammar than we do. So let's go talk to her.
我们来看一下刚刚课文里提到的单字 hurry, hurry 动词赶紧急忙 I hurried to finish my homework before dinner. 我赶紧在晚餐前完成作业。接着我们回到课文当中。
And we are back. And this is not the end of the story yet because we don't know what's going to happen.
Yes.
We just know that the last thing God told Moses to do is to raise his staff over the Red Sea again. Why does he need to part it again? Or make a bigger or a wider path?
It could be, or maybe he's got a plan.
You think so?
I think he might. But we're going to have to find out tomorrow, so come back and join us for the third and final part of Moses parting the Red Sea.
Moses told the Israelites to stay calm. Then God told Moses to raise his staff over the Red Sea. All of a sudden, a strong wind blew and parted the sea. The Israelites were surprised. When a dry path appeared, the Israelites started to walk between the two great walls of water. Before long, the king and his army reached the path. So the Israelites hurried to the other side. When they were all safe, God told Moses to raise his staff over the Red Sea again.
我们来复习一下这一课的重点单字跟文法。单字的部分 raise 动词举起 blow 动词吹拂 dry 形容词干的干燥的 hurry 动词赶紧急忙。接着我们来看文法的部分 stay calm 保持冷静 Nobody could stay calm when they heard the news 没有人听到那则消息时还能保持冷静All of a sudden, 突然间一下子 It started to rain all of a sudden. 突然之间就下起雨了 Before long, 不久后很快的 Before long, dinner was ready. 晚餐没多久就准备好了。以上就是这一课的重点单字跟文法，那我们下一次再见喽，拜拜。
Hey, 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 it's KiWi on the street. I'm Kiki.
And I'm Winnie.
And today we are playing a childhood classic, Jenga. Okay, so I have my own strategy. I like to use a tapping motion.
That was really risky.
Okay, so I take back my strategy. Go fast. But hold on, you have to wait for me to put it back on.
You gotta stack it at the top.
You have to follow the pattern of 3, 3, 3, and then you alternate each layer.
Okay, I will try to tap, and then you'll feel like this brick, you see this is really loose. So I'll pull it out.
Just wake me up when you're done. You gotta go in with steady hands, which I'm not very good at because I drink a lot of coffee.
It's okay, it's still early in the game.
That's true. Don't do that. If you do that, it's gonna be wobbly.
Okay.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
It's fine. It's fine.
It's wobbly. Why would you? You're taking out the trash today.
Well, that's all we have for today. Follow us on Instagram. Send us a DM or an email if there's something you want to say in English but you don't know how. Kiki, is there anything else you want to say?
I'm not doing the trash today. Yay! Kiwi later!